Does your mindset affect your success? Yes, it does. Definitely. And we know that for ourselves because that's what we've been talking about here. We've been talking about having a growth mindset. We've been talking about leaving behind that poverty mindset. We've been talking about having a mindset for success, a prosperity mindset. So we're going to talk about how our mindset impacts our success today on Hey Sister by Too Cute Sister. So we're going to get right into this podcast. We're not going to waste a lot of time. How do we change our mindset? How does it impact us? How does it affect our success? So the first thing we need to know is that our mindset and our beliefs have been formed way before today. Your mindset wasn't just formed today. The things you think, the things you believe were formed in your childhood or earlier in your life because you heard these things over and over again until they were ingrained within you, ingrained within your spirit, ingrained within your personality until you believe them. So we have to first identify what our mindsets are when it comes to things like money. What are our mindsets when it comes to things like relationships? And what is our mindset when it comes to how we feel about ourselves? We are the captains of our own ship. We are the makers of our own destiny. And when we can identify our problem areas, then we can begin to change our mindset. Many of us may have limiting beliefs about being financially prosperous, about being successful. So when we have these limiting beliefs, we want to get rid of these limiting beliefs. So the first thing we're going to do is identify that we have them and admit that we have them. And then we can begin the process of correcting them. How do you correct a limiting belief? Well, it starts by changing that statement, changing what you say, changing what you believe, changing what you speak out of your mouth. So you can begin to say those positive affirmations. You can begin to say those statements of prosperity, those statements of growth. This is how you begin to change those limiting beliefs. And it can be hard at first. So my first suggestion to you is you may want to write down what your new confession is going to be, what your new belief is going to be, and begin to say those daily. You have to say them more than one time a day. That's okay. Just begin to speak your new beliefs and you'll watch yourself begin to transform. You'll watch a change begin to take place within you. The next thing you want to do is, well, I just said it, just repeat those beliefs, repeat those statements over and over and over again until they become ingrained within you. When you think about sports, and I don't know if I've shared with you before or not, but at one time I was a basketball coach and I played basketball. And I tell you one thing that we always do. We always have practice. Some of the kids don't like it. There are days when you want to take days off. I know even as the coach, there were times I just didn't want to go. There were times I wanted to relax. There was other things that I wanted to do. But I knew in order to have a winning team, in order to make some progress, in order to be successful, we had to practice. We couldn't just show up at the game not having practice. You just can't do it. Sometimes, and I'll give you a good example, sometimes as an athlete or sometimes as a team, you take other teams for granted. You say, oh, they're so easy. We're going to beat them. No problem. They haven't won a game out. Just don't feel like you need to practice. You don't need to worry about this team. You don't need to worry about them at all. But in actuality, you do, because guess what they're doing? They're practicing. They're getting ready for you. They're watching films. They're studying you. They're studying your technique. They're studying your games, your plays. And there have been a lot of time when the underdog shows up for the game and they win. May not be by a whole lot, but they win. You know why they win? Because they practiced, they persist, they had the discipline to do what they needed to do in order to be successful, in order to beat you and your team who took them for granted. So you have to practice. You have to constantly remind yourself over and over again that you can be successful. You can make a difference. That things are working out in your favor. That all things are working for your good. So we have to make sure we say that as we change our limiting beliefs as we question and rewrite our past beliefs, these are some things we need to do. Another very important thing we have to do when we're going to be successful, or we're going to change that mindset, as I said, we have to be consistent. We have to consistently show up. We have to consistently remind ourselves of our goals and how we're going to accomplish them, why we want to accomplish them, and we have to consistently put in the work. It can be easy to get off track, and trust me, I know it can be easy to say, hey, I want to go out tonight. I don't want to do this. I don't want to work on this. I want to do me. I want to do what everybody else is doing. And it's that mindset of wanting to be like everyone else that keeps you from being successful. So our mindset is critical to us being prosperous. It's critical to us being successful. So consistency is key. We have to be consistent. We can't change it up in the middle. When things get tough, we can't just do that. So we have to remember the importance of sticking to it, of doing what we need to do. We have to also be able to identify opportunities when they present themselves. Know the opportunity when it knocks. Know it may not look like what you thought it was going to look like. But just because it's not looking like or sounding like what we thought it should, that does not mean it is not the opportunity for us. So we have to remember that also. And what I want us to take home the most, and this is key, don't be afraid to fail. You'd be surprised how many people never start, never try because they are afraid of failing. They don't want to be a failure. But you know what? You lose 100% of the opportunities in which you don't take. So you're not a failure. You're not. You're a failure when you don't try. So we have to try. We have to commit to giving 100%. We have to commit to trying. No, it may not be overnight. No, it may not feel good. No, we may not be able to hang out with our friends and do what everyone else is doing right now. But if we persist, if we are consistent, if we change our story, and I mean, you have to make a decision to change your story, and this is changing your mindset, then you can see success. And that is how our mindset affects how successful we are. It's our beliefs. You can, if you believe you can. When you look at all these famous people, all these people who made it, one of the key ingredients was they had to change their mindset. They had to change the way they saw themselves. They had to tell themselves, I can do this, and I'm willing to put in the work. Good example, people who win the lottery or win lots of money, you would think they have it made and they're going to live comfortable the rest of their life. At least that's what I used to think. And then I realized something that blew my mind. Statistics have shown within about 2 years, these people are broke again. And I'm like, how can you win millions of dollars and turn around and be broke? How? I just want money. And then you realize that even though they had the money, they won the money, or they received the money, they didn't have the mindset in order to deal with that money. They had not developed the skills they needed in order to be successful. So let us begin first with our mindset. Let's change it. Let's get ourselves in position so that we can prosper, so that we can grow and be successful. Mindset is key. Thank you guys for listening to my podcast. Don't forget to listen to another one. I will be posting my podcast every other Saturday, so I look forward to hearing and seeing you guys. I'll see you in the next podcast.